There's a thing about making small independent films. You can kind of get stuck in this mindset of having to ask permission to do it. Now, it won't feel like that, but you will think, okay, I need a budget for this, I need some money, I need 10, 20 grand to go and do this thing. So you go and look for that money, and you have to ask for that money, and then lots of people start saying no. So maybe you want to attach a production company who can have the resources and will help you get it made, and that's all well and good, and you can go and do that and go down that road. Or you can go to funding bodies like Screen Ireland and all these competitions that run throughout the year and enter that way and try and raise funds, and all those are valid places to go. But what can often happen is, and it's certainly happened to me over the years, is that all that rejection that comes in, you start to take it personally, because how can you not? You're a person, you know. And then usually the script that you have is personal. You've written it, you've put in your heart and soul into it, probably months, if not years of your life, and it's a goal. And then to be stopped at every hurdle is frustrating and discouraging and drains your energy and your enthusiasm. So I would recommend certainly go down that road if you want, but don't let it discourage you, don't let it stop you from making your film. And if you do get kind of knocked back again and again, have a rethink of the script, go and look at it and see if you can do it yourself for little money, you know. And you will get told by people, by producers and maybe other directors, that you can't do certain things. And they might be coming at it from a much more traditional, mainstream standpoint. But, you know, people like Tarantino and even Spielberg and Soderbergh and all these guys, Rodriguez is probably a prime example, didn't follow the rules when they started. They broke every rule that existed. And look where they are now. Now, maybe you're not going to be the next Tarantino, but you can get your film made. If you stop asking permission from people who don't have an association with your script, because what happens is you're putting the power into their hands. So you need to take that power back, and you need to ask yourself for permission. And of course, you're going to say yes to yourself. You have to say yes to yourself to move forward. So look at your script. It might need a rejig, a rewrite, a rethink, to pare it down, to kind of look at what's the real essence of the script. You know, can you shoot it on a phone, you know, in a month of Sundays kind of thing? You know, can you do it with just 2 actors? You know, I mean, you probably want, if it's a feature, you probably want to expand that world. But there are ways around it. There are people out there making feature films for next to nothing, and there are ways to make money, whether it's crowdfunding, small loans. There are places, you know, who do fund the arts that you may not be aware of in your local town, your county council, your just different establishments, business people who are into the arts and want to support, you know. So you got to go and ask, you know. You got to ask those awkward questions and be a bit of a salesperson for yourself. But yeah, just don't let those rejections get you down. Don't let those rejections make you think that the project isn't worth it, because if it means something to you, it's going to mean something to other people, you know. So look at it that way, and just do a regroup. Get that script that everyone said no to, that you love, that you would love to see made, and think about it, reframe it, think about it in a different way, you know. Make yourself the producer and say, okay, well, how am I going to get the money for this? How am I going to make this on a lot smaller budget? And then head down that road. I'm doing it at the moment. I've like made these 1 day, 1 location, 2-actor short films on my phone. I made 5 of them in the last year. 4 of them are at festivals. Well, one's finished, but then is finished, and that's up on YouTube. And actually Sacred Heart's up on YouTube as well, so you can see them. Lily Steam is out right now. The Valley Monologues just had its premiere. I've got one called Addiction, which I'm editing about to start editing again, and that'll be next. So you can make these films. And I'm starting to reframe a script I have called 10 Days in December, which I went down that road of rejection on. And I'm starting to think this way of making films got me back into making films. And it was a new kind of film school for me, because I'd very much been going at that in the traditional sense. Like having to get a full cast and crew and camera and lights and locations and paying lots of people lots of money, and it started to go up to like, you know, 100, 200,000 budget. But if no one's going to get behind you to finance that, then you can't make it. And that's kind of what's happened for the last 7 or 8 years on that project. So, but I do want to make it. It's a passion project of mine. So I've started to reframe it in the way I've been making films for the last 2 years. And it's kind of exciting to think that it could be actually a possibility. It'll be a different kind of film. It'll be very independent. But there's a home for films like that. There's an audience for films like that. And at the end of the day, the story is the same. I will be telling the same story. So I think it's going to connect with the same people. It's going to find that audience. It may not be as glossy as it would have been, but so long as the script is good, the performances are good, the story is pure and simple, I think it'll do well. And I'm giving myself permission to go and make it. So you do the same. Give yourself permission to make your script, and yeah, go make a movie.